They destroyed Ambersons, and the picture itself destroyed me.
It must be in the sun. There wasn't anything there but the sun in the first place. And the earth came out of the sun. And we came out of the earth. So whatever we are, we must have all been in the sun. And we go back into the earth that we came out of. So the earth must go back into the sun that it came out of. And time means nothing. Nothing at all. So in just a little while we'll all be back in the sun together. I wish...
Did you want anything, grandfather?
What?
Would you like a glass of water?
No, I don't want anything at all. I wish somebody would tell me.
The Magnificent Ambersons, made in 1942 by Orson Welles, tells the story of a spoiled young heir to the decaying Ambersons' fortune who comes between his widowed mother and the man she has always loved. Based on Booth Tarkington's novel of the same name, the film watches a city grow and a family die in the early 1900s. Behind the scenes, however, another tragedy was brewing. Differing opinions, Hollywood politics, and World War II collided, creating a hailstorm that would cost millions of dollars and destroy what might have been Welles's greatest picture. What you just saw is a reconstruction of one of the most emotionally intense sequences in the film. More than half of this was cut out of the final cut of the film, which is what you are watching now.
Covered.
With the United States' entry into World War II after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, Orson Welles was urged by Nelson Rockefeller, the United States State Department, and RKO Studios to go down to Brazil to make a film in order to promote hemispheric relations with the Brazilian government, which was fascist-leaning at the time.
Copacabana, the casinos, the smart women and the pretty girls. But there's another side of real...
While Orson Welles was in South America, The Magnificent Ambersons was pre-screened at Pomona and Pasadena. The movie was panned by these audiences. George Schaefer, president of RKO Studios at the time, sent Orson Welles this letter in response to the audience reception.
Never in all my experience in the industry have I taken so much punishment or suffered as I did at the Pomona preview. In my 28 years in the business, I have never been present in a theater where the audience acted in such a manner. They laughed at the wrong places, kidded it, and did everything that you can possibly imagine. The picture was just too slow, heavy, and topped off with somber music. Never did register. It started off well, but it just went to pieces. Orson Welles has got to do something commercial. We have to get away from arty pictures and get back to earth. Educating the public is expensive, and your next picture must be made for the box office. That's the story, Orson. I feel very miserable to have to write you this. My very best always, George Schaefer.
Robert Wise was the editor of the film, The Magnificent Ambersons, and received much of the blame for the so-called butchering of the movie before it premiered.
Look, okay, I'm gonna put this to rest once and for all. I was the guy who edited Citizen Kane. Does that surprise you? Huh? Is it like I lost all of my wit and talent by means of magic overnight and cut up Ambersons like some butcher or some imbecile? No, didn't happen like that at all. Orson wanted to butcher up the film a lot more than I did, and I didn't let him. Then he ran away to Brazil, and I was kind of left to my own devices. Ambersons was a great movie. It's still a great movie. We had to cut some things that didn't play to an audience. I did that. Might not be great art, it's still a great picture. End of story.
Jack Moss had been with Orson Welles ever since his Mercury Theater radio days. He worked as a business manager on the Magnificent Ambersons.
And when he left for Brazil, it just, he left Ambersons behind. So I tried to communicate with him as best I could and to remain optimistic, but, once the Latin America project started up, he just totally forgot about Ambersons. And, yeah, I tried to push his advice through to Wise and Schaefer, but, they're picture boys, and they don't take me seriously. I'm from the theater. And, for that matter, they don't take an artistic film like Ambersons seriously either.
Bernard Herrmann wrote the original score to the Magnificent Ambersons, but during the post-production of the film, many other composers were used in place of his score as well. Upon seeing and hearing the final product, he asked that his name be lifted from the project.
Mr. Herrmann? Mr. Herrmann.
What?
Do you have a moment?
No.
Well, could you comment on the Magnificent Ambersons?
No. Do you see my name on that film?
Did you not write the score?
I wrote a score for a movie called Magnificent Ambersons, but that movie was never released. Now, if you excuse me, I gotta go talk to my daughter.
Thank you.